Welcome to College Smart Radio, helping you understand the true cost of college and tackle the runaway costs of financing a college education. College Smart Radio is hosted by Beatrice Schultz, a certified financial planner and founder of Westface College Planning. Now, here's your host for College Smart Radio, Beatrice Schultz.
Conventional wisdom says that most high school and college students can't possibly know what they want to do in the world of work. In fact, students are often encouraged to relax and take some time as they explore options while in college. This outdated wisdom is based upon the personal experiences of the past two generations, who, one, lacked easy access to professional career tools, and two, enjoyed a seemingly endless job demand for college graduates. Times have changed. On today's College Smart Radio program, we're going to challenge that concept and discuss how students and parents can use tools available today to start the career discussion and planning well before they make a significant investment in higher education and also an investment in several years of their lives. Hi, I'm Beatrice Schultz. Welcome to our weekly show, College Smart Radio, where we help you tackle the runaway costs of a college education. Our show is about bringing up-to-date and practical advice to parents who are dealing with the cost of a college education for their kids. With some private schools costing well over $60,000 a year, a UC costing $35,000, and a California State University running $25,000, parents need more help than ever. We bring you that help by sharing ways to pay less, tapping into financial aid, and prioritizing your source of funds to make sure you get through the most expensive years of your life. Based on my own experience and education, I share my insights with you week in and week out. I am a certified financial planner and the owner of the San Carlos-based college planning business, Westface College Planning. I host workshops and webinars on college planning and consult with parents on a daily basis. In addition to my insights, I bring in experts in many areas of the college process, from counselors, financial professionals, financial aid officers, student coaches, parents, and even students. You'll learn firsthand the ins and outs of how to pay for college and survive financially. In addition to our show, you can find lots of powerful information at our website, collegesmartradio.com. We have many articles with up-to-date information on navigating the waters of paying for the runaway costs of college. We also have a monthly e-newsletter full of content about college planning, and we have a link to our free community parent workshops and webinars that I host to teach parents about how to pay for college and how the financial aid system really works. So let's get into today's show. Every fall, 3 million U.S. high school grads begin their journey into the Twilight zone from college to career, where 80% of students are unsure of their major, 50% will change majors, and 63% will take over 5 years to graduate. After their college graduation, 50% will accept jobs that will not require their degree, 50% will boomerang back home to recover, and 70% will average $35,000 in college-related debt. Despite those challenges, 98% of these new college students lack a documented career plan. Wrongly assuming that a college education is the silver bullet for career success, the primary focus is on funding college and getting in the right school. However, both students and parents are distracted from the real goal of a college education: to launch a better career. Unknown to most parents and students is this fact: for every 2 college graduates, there's only 1 true college degree level job available in today's market. Students who want to compete for those few precious jobs will need relevant work experience. Choosing a career path as early as possible can create opportunities for summer jobs and a stronger professional network while validating students' career choices and improving their academic performance. My guest on today's show is Jeff Cameron, the president of uJourney. uJourney provides career exploration tools that are easily accessible and affordable to everyone. More specifically, uJourney Career is designed to help people explore more meaningful career choices, whether in transition from high school to college, from college to the world of work, or while working and managing one's career. Jeff's joining us on College Smart Radio via phone from Houston. Hi, Jeff. Welcome to College Smart Radio.
Hi, Beatrice, and thank you for inviting me.
You probably recognize that my introduction to the show was taken directly from the blog that you wrote, which is available on our College Smart Radio website. Those statistics are staggering.
They really are, and it amazes me how so many students and parents will face those challenges without really dealing with the very fundamental question in their life, and that is, what do I want to do when I grow up? So, yeah, we're very excited to deliver a tool that's affordable, that's accessible, that we think can have a dramatic impact on the lives of students and their parents.
So tell us in your own words, what is uJourney Career?
So uJourney Career, it's a professional-level online career and planning system where students can learn more about themselves and the world of work and how to discover their personal positive vision of their future. So it uses the very best career tools that are available. Right there in Mountain View, California's CPP has the MBTI personality assessment. So we use the MBTI career report, and we use a strong interest inventory. Those are the same tools that you or I would use if we went to a professional career counselor or went to a talent development company to look at options or to develop our skill sets.
So maybe you can, just for people who are listening, talk a little bit about those initials you just mentioned. Those are standard kind of personality tests that are used for careers, or exactly what does that mean?
Yes. Okay. So the Myers-Briggs type indicator, or MBTI, is about an 80-year-old tool. It's been around since 1942, designed by a mother-daughter team based on the theory of the psychologist Carl Jung. It has 93 questions. It's been managed by a company called CPP out of California. They're the sole distributor. It's the most reliable, most validated, most tested tool that's out there to define personality type. And nearly every personality tool out there that you see that's not the MBTI is probably kind of a clone from that basic theory and that tool. The Strong is called the Strong Interest Inventory. It's actually named after a fellow named E.K. Strong who developed that tool back in 1927. So it's been around 80 years, and it's got 291 questions that help you focus on 130 specific occupations. It also is the leading occupational interest tool, and both of those tools are tested routinely, upgraded routinely, backed by a lot of research. So they're the best tools available.
So before we kind of go into how any students or parents can take a look at your tools, so what's your story? Why are you so committed to helping students with career planning?
You know, I get that question a lot, and I would say if I just step back and look at it, the bottom line is I just have a lot of respect for young people and feel like they deserve better. I have 4 children of my own. I've watched them go through high school and now into college and now out of college. My wife is a children's minister, and we worked with the youth for 30 years. So I've seen these children move from high school into college and becoming young adults with what seems to me to be just a blink of an eye. So I really want to help these students. I was fortunate in a funny sort of way to go through a career transition in 2003, and I myself had access to these great career tools at the same time that I was working with students going off to college who really had no clue. And I just simply connected the dots and thought, why can't we get these tools available to these students to help them make such a big decision, or at least make a much better decision than what they're doing right now? So that's really the genesis behind uJourney Career.
So what do you see as the big career challenges that are facing high school and college students, and how are they different than, or are they different than what they've been for the last 100 years or 80 years?
Well, I'll be real honest with you and say this. The introduction that you read off the blog definitely says, here's what the challenge is. The biggest difference, I think, is 2 things. One is 20 or 30 years ago, when people my age were going out of college and into the world of work, there were lots of opportunities, and there was not as much emphasis on finding your absolute career passion. That mentality really has started in the last 20 years or so, and with the millennial generation, I think in particular, they really do want to have something that's more meaningful in their life. And so it's a double-edged sword of having much fewer jobs, a much harder time finding professional-level jobs, and a generation that really wants to have more meaning in their life. And so it's kind of the perfect storm. The other thing is that we really have come, at my generation, to accept the fact that you're going to change majors, you're going to change careers, and it's your journey. Your career journey is kind of a never-ending maze through life. But that doesn't really have to be that way. The primary difference is you and I never had access to these kinds of tools when we were going through college, and I think if you can get people access to that tools, they will get closer to their end career goal or their destination much, much quicker.
I really believe that personally. I've done some of that career testing myself later in my career, in my 40s, and really that moved me to the career that I'm in right now. And if I wish I'd had some of those tools instead of just my parents saying, oh, well, you do good in math, you should be an engineer, which is the original route that I took.
Right. Yeah, that's a common experience. I've had 3 distinct careers myself, and I don't look back on that and say, man, that was a waste of time. I think any healthy person will appreciate the journey that you're on. But that doesn't mean you have to accept that. That doesn't mean you can't do some due diligence around career planning and try and understand more quickly what really does make sense for you in your future.
So what is a career plan?
So a career plan really would be the collection of information in which you've done the research for occupations and you've aligned that against say your personality type, to figure out what occupations you would be more comfortable with, and to align it against your value system, your work values, against your giftedness or your strength, against your actual occupational interest, and some other what I'll call intrinsic motivators, to come up with a plan that says, this is what I want to pursue at this point in my life. These are the reasons why this makes sense, okay? And then these are, for example, these are some things that I need to do to get there. These are the steps I need to take, the training that I need to pursue, or the education I need to pursue. Here's how I'm going to validate this decision. These are the summer jobs and other work experience that I can get that will help me validate. So it's that collection of information that basically forms the career plan.
If you've just joined us, my guest on today's College Smart Radio program is Jeff Cameron, the president of uJourney, which is a personalized online career coaching tool to help transition from high school to college and into the world of work. We're talking about the importance of career planning. We'll be back right after a quick break.
For more information on today's topic, visit collegesmartradio.com or call area code 650-587-1559. College Smart Radio continues in moments on AM 1220 KDOW. Contact Beatrice Schultz at collegesmartradio.com. or call 650-587-1559. Now back to College Smart Radio with your host Beatrice Schultz on AM 1220 KDOW.
Welcome back to College Smart Radio, where we help you tackle the runaway costs of college. I'm Beatrice Schultz. We all know that college is expensive and will most likely be some of the most costly years for a family. Understanding how to navigate the college cost is a smart thing to know. To help families be on this radio show, I host community workshops live and via webinar several times a month that explain the costs of various colleges, how the financial aid system works, and things to consider to prepare yourself for this tremendous expense. My next webinar will be on Wednesday, January 15th at 7 p.m. when I'll be hosting a FAFSA-specific workshop via webinar. To learn more and reserve your seats, go to my website at collegesmartradio.com. If you've just joined us, I've been talking with my guest, Jeff Cameron, president of uJourney, about the importance of college planning. And Jeff, maybe you can share with us a little bit share with us exactly how uJourney career works.
Yes, I'm happy to walk you through the process. So here's what happens. A student can go online and purchase uJourney Career for themselves and jump right in, or a parent could buy it as a gift and they receive a code, and then the student can go in at their own convenience later, log in, and use the tool. So what happens is there's 8 steps. The first step, the student defines what is success. They first talk about life success, a short definition, and then career success. And we do that to help them begin to think of the much bigger picture, and it's an easier step for them to start. Then they take the MBTI, the Myers-Briggs personality indicator, online, inside the tool. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes for them to receive their results right there in the tool. Then they do a gift assessment of 33 different gifts, and they can add other gifts if they feel like they're gifted in a particular area that's not on that list. They then identify or prioritize 33 values, kind of like work values, and then they take the strong interest inventory assessment. And they can stop at any time during all that kind of data gathering, or they can truck right through it as quickly as they want. Once they get the strong assessment completed, it will give them a list of 130 occupations from the ones that most align to them to their least favored occupations. So then we encourage the student to pick one of those high-ranking occupations, and they go through an alignment process where they look back at their personality results and see how well that fits that occupation. They look at their gifts against that occupation, their value system against the occupation, and then they look at some other factors as well, things like job outlook, earnings, any training requirements, and then the work conditions. And they make a judgment on those. And then and they can go back and look at different occupations and align on any number of occupations they want. They can even make up their own occupations if they want. We point them to the Occupational Outlook Handbook and the O-Star Net as places to research and learn more about these occupations. And then we have a validation plan to give them instructions on how to validate within themselves and then with their family and then with people in that field. And then they develop their career plan, which basically says, this is why this occupation makes sense for me. These are the steps I need to take to go pursue it, and this is why I want to do it.
And do you find that most students that are going through this process, they do it as a one-time sit-down for kind of a full hour or as much time as it takes, or do you kind of see people logging in and making changes and kind of working through the process?
That's a good question, and really what we see is like the full gamut. We see some people that will go in and take the personality assessment, and they just read the results and they let that soak. Then they'll come back a couple of days later, and they'll go through the gifts and values and then the strong interest inventory. And then they'll go back later, 2 or 3 days later, and they'll start looking at different occupations. We've had other people that within 2 hours, they've run through the entire thing, aligned on a couple of occupations. They like the one that they picked, and they're done. So it kind of depends. Some people take it to validate a choice that they're pretty sure about. Some people take it because they just honestly have no clue. So it's the nice thing about the tool is you can go back to it a month later, a year later, and kind of research again where you really want to go with your career.
So there are many free career tools that we find on the internet. How does uJourney compare, and how much does it cost, and why should parents pay? And why kind of explain to us why it's worth parents paying or students paying to be part of the uJourney career program.
Sure. So the thing about free career tools is this: you kind of get what you pay for, and so typically free career tools they offer very vague results. Like you get career clusters, almost at a college major level, which really isn't helpful for most students. It's hard to get excited about being a biology major, but if you have a specific occupation that requires that major, that can be a stimulating, exciting thing. So the free career assessments typically are very vague, and they can be very misleading. They're not really statistically valid or correlated or reliable instruments. So that's one of the big problems with them. The tools that we use are heavily researched, highly maintained, outstanding tools, and so they're worth a small price to get your hands on that quality of data. So uJourney Career retails at $99, but we typically have it on sale for somewhere between $59 to $69. And we're happy to, by the way, make an offer to your listeners. I can give you a promo code called College Smart Radio. They'll enter College Smart Radio, all one word. Then we can offer that for $49 to your listeners through the end of this year, December 31st.
Well, thank you very much for that promo, and I will have a link to that promo. So it's College Smart Radio, one word, for any of our listeners to enter in. And I'll also have that link on your blog and on our website. Thanks for offering that.
You're welcome.
So are parents involved in this process, or is it really mostly the students who are doing everything?
Well, it depends. We really encourage parents to get involved. And in fact, we have a coaching function for the tool where if a student goes into the tool and starts to do the process early on, they can say, do you want to add a coach? And if they'll add the email address of one or both of their parents, then that allows the parents read-only access to see what's going on. The parents can read all the instructions, all the process, all the assessment results of the student. We also send the parents emails as the student goes through certain steps inside the uJourney career that gives the parents some basically discussion topics and some tips and insights on how they can stimulate that conversation using the different tools as the student goes through the process. The parents also get this really cool coaching guide. It's just about a 2-page write-up based upon the student's personality type, but it basically says, here's how you can motivate your student, and here's how you can lose their motivation. And it's kind of like, it's probably the first little step of a parent guide for your student. We've actually had people say, man, I wish I had this when they were in 7th or 8th grade. So that alone, some people say, is worth the price of admission.
That's great to have that as part of it. And parents are so much more involved in the process and very often very involved in the expense of paying for college, which is part of how this relates to the show, which is truthfully, if you make that if you know your career choice, you absolutely can spend less on college because you can make those right choices or make the choice of whether college is even a right choice for you and hopefully graduate quicker within the 4 years and with the work experience as well as the proper education to get the career that's a fit for you.
Right. The relevant work experience right now is a huge thing. If you talk to any significant employer who's hiring lots of college students, that's going to be one of the first questions I ask those students is, what's your relevant work experience? The fact of the matter is, as you said earlier, there's 2 students competing for every individual job. So employers can expect a fair amount. So the students that have the competitive advantage are the students that knew all along, this is what I'm going to do when I get this degree. And they've got any kind of work experience that allows them to learn the language of the industry, that gives them some of the tools that the industry uses, that occupation, and so forth. It's very, very powerful for the student.
So a lot of students feel they know what they want to do when they grow up, so to speak. So what's the reasons or what is the motivation for those, even who feel like they know what they want to do, to create a true career plan?
That's another good question. I think one of the things that most people don't realize is probably 2/3 of students really don't have a very good clue about what they want to do, but probably half of those will say, yeah, this is what I want to do. But if you'll just ask them enough questions on why does this make sense for you personally, that's where they begin to have difficulty answering the question. So we really encourage all students to take uJourney Career, whether you're going to validate it or to make sure that they've actually have thoughtfully planned a career that makes sense for them. So either way, it's just a function of kind of due diligence. And for us, one of the challenges that we hear with parents is, how do you get your student to do this if they're not really motivated? Well, one thing I would say is, I'm not so sure I'd want to fund a student's college education if they're not willing to spend 2 or 3 hours to really explore what they're going to do with their college degree. So to us, it just makes sense that it's a smart move. It's very inexpensive. Doesn't take much time. It just makes sense.
I just saw an email this morning from a parent who said exactly that. I just don't know. It feels like my student's not motivated enough for all the money that's out there. Hey, Jeff, thank you so much for joining us today on College Smart Radio. I am going to have your promo code College Smart Radio on our website, and thanks again for joining us.
I'm glad you asked us to talk to you, and we're happy to do that anytime.
Great. Thanks so much. Well, that wraps up another weekly show of College Smart Radio. We hope you picked up some new information today that helps you figure out ways to manage the runaway costs of college. You can hear us each week here on KDOW 1220 AM, Saturdays at 3 p.m. We promise to bring you up-to-date information from the front lines of helping parents deal with the most expensive years of their lives. For a link to a podcast of this show and our prior weekly shows, go to our website, collegesmartradio.com. In addition to the podcast, you'll also find a schedule of our upcoming shows. This is Beatrice Schultz. Thanks for tuning into College Smart Radio. We look forward to sharing more helpful information with you next week.
You've been listening to College Smart Radio with certified financial planner Beatrice Schultz. If you have questions on today's topic, log on to collegesmartradio.com or call area code 650-587-1559. That's 650-587-1559. And join us next week at this time for another edition of College Smart Radio. on AM 1220 KDOW.